It's Wild Outdoor Living. This is the Trek 920. I've had it for about 400 miles so far, a couple of months of short touring trips and a lot of commuting and just riding around. So I did another video with an overview of all the parts and spec. You can check that video out. It's about 12 minutes, and that'll be more in depth. But this will just be kind of my opinions of it and what I've done to it so far. So just today I put on this tire fender, cut up a tire that was defective and threaded it through the rack there. I don't have any zip ties on there or anything. It's just held in there nice and tight. I have 4 bottle cages on there. I have this cheap but nice and large seat bag that I can carry 2 29er tubes in and a bunch of other stuff. Got my pump on there, and I also have lights on the back, and then I have a headlight on the front that I'm actually using to light this video a little bit better. So yeah, the bike is super stable, which I've said before, really smooth. And to be honest, I think bottom line, this is my favorite bike, maybe of all time. It's actually really fast. It's not snappy, but it gets up to speed and it just carries speed. I mean, regardless of whether you're carrying 80 pounds or pulling a trailer or even without, it cruises fast. And it's kind of nice for someone who's come from racing bikes and stuff to have a bike that's very utilitarian and very stable, but is also, has some performance aspects where it can. So yeah, the gears, of course, the bar and shifters have been great. The hydraulic brakes, they took a little bit to get used to these particular ones. The pads, I don't know if they just weren't lining up correctly. They would kind of catch during the first half of the brake stroke or whatever. And but now that I've got a couple 100 miles on them, they're actually doing really good and they grab really hard. You can do endos on this bike, no problem. So yeah, it's really stable. We took about a week through Grand Teton and loaded this bike up, and I had it, 2 panniers on the back. I had 2 thermarest pads on the front rack, as well as my handlebar bag, and then I had a big cooler kind of strapped to the top of the back rack. And then at one point, I ended up with all my wife's stuff on top, so I had an extra 20 liters strapped to the top of the bag in the back. And I had another handlebar bag strapped to the bottom of the rack in the front. So it was quite loaded, but really stable. We actually did the Moose Wilson corridor road, and of course about 2 miles of that is dirt, and some of it's actually pretty rough. And this bike was, even with that load, was just cruising right through and pedaled up the hills and went down the other side, no problem. So it was a joy to ride on the tour. And yeah, it's just been awesome. I would definitely recommend it. They just changed the color. You can't get this wonderful green anymore. Now it's still a matte finish, but it's a bluish gray. I think they call it battleship gray or /blue or something like that. So you can't get that color anymore, but the new color, it looks great. Some people might like it even better. It looks maybe less military than this color does, but I personally really like this green. So yeah, definitely check one of these things out. I think a lot of people will like this bike, and it always, no matter where I go, anytime we see a touring cyclist or someone who's really into bikes, it definitely is a conversation starter. So yeah, it's been great. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm definitely gonna do some more videos down the road. I've got some of their gear to review, but for this bike, I think it's definitely a winner. So catch you later.